What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Shun, and today...
Oh, who loves the flow of this? Sure. The emotion, the power. Then it just explodes. Okay.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Shun, and today we're going to be reacting to Dodging, Disbandment, and Other Extreme Sports, a history of Dreamcatcher by Mirror. So yeah, guys, we are back with our usual second video of Dreamcatcher, because Dreamcatcher is a special band to me, and I do not mind making 2 videos for them each week. This week, we have this video that's been requested a lot, actually, by you guys, and finally have some time to actually get around to watching this half-hour-long video. This is by Mirror, who I have watched a video by before. I don't remember what video it was, but I have watched a video by her before. We are getting into Dodging, Disbandment, and Other Extreme Sports, a history of Dreamcatcher, and I thought it actually was very, very fitting to watch it today, where I have just also reacted to Bon Voyage, which is their new, their new title track. So I thought, you know, it actually kind of makes sense to add it now that they have a new release. So I'm thinking, let's just get right into the video.
I do not have all the facts. And obviously, not every single detail is here. Every statistic used is readily available information for anyone who wants to find it.
2
and
years
as always,
old?
This video
3
is
maybe?
not intended to point fingers at certain groups or artists, nor start any fan wars. Each and every one of the artists mentioned here is simply
crazy you have to make a disclaimer for that.
Dreamcatcher. If you love Dreamcatcher more
craze
than
of the
anything,
fans,
or you couldn't care less about them, wonderful, that's all cool. I just ask that you leave your opinions about the members, your opinions about the fandom, and your opinions about any other artists mentioned here out of your consideration for the video.
Okay, behave yourself. Wait, spoilers for Game of Thrones? What? I haven't watched Game of Thrones.
Dreamcatcher has something of a wild story. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they may or may not be caught up in some cosmic duel between 2 ancient gods. One who wants them to succeed, and one who wants to destroy them at all costs.
That's not...
Dreamcatcher is a girl group under Happy Face
Entertainment. That's not too far from the truth.
Kind of. The group has released 6 mini albums of reasonable success. Kind of. And they achieved their first win in September of 2019. Kind of. There's a lot to unpack about the history of Dreamcatcher.
But they got their first win recently, right? Last year.
Over the years, the group has attracted a rather convoluted legacy. And when you look at it all laid out, there's something about Dreamcatcher that seems to be constantly dodging out of the way of danger.
Although I saw like
there have been some touch and go
thing
moments
about most songs per year, and they were like second
Dreamcatcher seems
for
to be doing some
third-gen
serious
artists.
gymnastics to keep themselves in the game. Let's go back in time. August 9th,
But they are, you know, they're really rising right now, which I love.
At the Oak Valley Summertime Festival. It's nighttime and the stage is dark. Overhead, the intercom announces the next performance.
So is this Minx?
Lights up. 5 girls in what can only be described as pure 2014 fashion take the stage under the name Minx. They perform 3 songs, all singing and dancing and smiling at the audience. They laugh, they wave, they joke around with the audience, and everyone seems to be having a good time.
Not bad.
And there they go, off into the evening. September 15th, 2014. About a month later, a company known as Happy Face Entertainment announced that that's their new girl group, and they're set to debut that fall. Happy Face has had a decent number of different names, but for the ease of the story, I'll be referring to them as Happy Face Entertainment or just Happy Face. A couple of things to know about them before we get into the goods.
Are they called Dreamcatcher Company now, I think?
Company, but they're very much average. They're not as rich as Woolham or Stone, but they have enough money to give their artists comebacks and promotion when the board meetings say the omens are right. Happy Face was founded by a production duo called E-Tribe.
They're very like in the middle, I feel like.
As the producers of a little song called G. Happy Face aren't tiny, they aren't massive. Now back to the story. September 18th, 2014.
Again, I'm gonna say it. Not a bad song at all. I actually like this a lot.
Minx debuted as a 5-member
I feel like it's just
with their song "Why Did You Come to My Home."
Bad timing in a sense.
Influenced by hip hop, and the music video followed a pretty standard 2014
yeah,
concept.
It just
complete with the
shorts too many. It was too saturated a market, I think.
Oh, and the random shots of girls in packaging. Remember when that was a thing? The group promoted their debut for over a month, finishing off in late October. Right now, Minx looked like a proper mid-2010s girl group, a Baby Girls Day or Sistar. They debuted with some pretty intense competition, including but not limited to Very Good, La Boom, Mamamoo, Lovelies, and Red Velvet. The song didn't have a mini album, which may or may not have been the bestest idea ever, as the song didn't quite manage to chart during the quarter. But being a debut, there was room to grow, and maybe fortune would favor the bold.
Sometimes
July 1st,
it takes a
2015.
first album,
or maybe not.
Or first comeback.
10 months later, Minx released their first mini album, Love Shake, in July of 2015.
Which apparently wasn't even their song, which was like a
summer romance,
right?
And the whole thing
was
resembled
Dal's
many cutesy, innocent concepts of summer girls looking for love. Now, we've talked about the 2015 scene before, but let's take another look at it.
That's twice, right?
Oh My Girl debuted.
Yeah, twice debuted.
Red Velvet released their first full album. Girls' Generation released Lion.
Yeah, damn.
Both musically and visually.
Yeah, 2015 is a harsh year, not gonna lie.
Described as a red ocean, meaning that there was absolutely no space for a concept like Minx's.
Yeah, man. Also, yeah, the Girls' Generation coming back with Lionheart. That's harsh.
Right now is one of the most powerful groups in romance and dance genres to debut within 20 days of this comeback.
Oh. Did G-Friend debut in 15? Didn't they debut in 14? Or am I just wrong?
So also we have G-Friend, one of the most powerful debuts in the year, occurring in the same month.
Did they?
Let's talk numbers. Eliminating the outliers, the average sale count for a girl group debut album in 2014 was around 3,780. In 2015, the average was roughly 5,060, with outliers eliminated. Minx's debut mini album,
outliers obviously being those that stand out too much.
That's under average for both 2015 and 2014.
In
not the worst,
both the
but
bad
not the
and
best.
the good bad way.
Now, for a lot of groups, this is unfortunately a symbol of doom. It's much harder to keep yourself afloat without some form of album unless you're a big three group.
Makes
By
sense.
splitting off their first song from their first album by nearly
monetarily
a year,
and
it looked like Minx's debut project might have caved in on itself. But the team over at Happy Face Entertainment had kind of an unconventional idea.
You know what?
In November
Whoever had the
2016,
idea,
Happy Face announced that the group was going to re-debut under a new name. Happy Face pulled Minx from the shelf and got to work. New production design, new imagery, new sound, an entirely new instrument team was brought in. Superbomb was brought in to produce new songs. 2 new members, Gahyun and Hundong, were added to the lineup. 2 months after the announcement was made,
this stands so much more out, you know? Compared to... Like, I think that's such a good choice to do.
The artist formerly known as Minx debuted on January 13th, 2017. They weren't the mid-2010s cheerleaders of 2014 or the summer sweethearts of 2015. They were Dreamcatcher, a group drenched in horror and elegance with a rather Victorian spin on the supernatural. Main vocalist Xian described their new music as a style that takes inspiration from metal and rock, especially J-rock, and mixes some of their elements with a core of pop inspired by the mainstream. Happy Face themselves described the music as pop rock and rock-flavored girl pop. They debuted with the song Chase Me, and people immediately noticed the creativity of the group's hard-hitting style and old world-inspired fashion. The group was establishing an anthology, where each girl represented a different nightmare.
Right.
They weren't coming to you. As stated in their debut, you were coming to them. Dreamcatcher's debut single album, Nightmare, sold nearly twice as many copies as Love Shake.
Okay.
Dreamcatcher debuted at number 20.
Okay, you know what? That's quite the improvement.
Favoring the bold? This was bold.
That was.
So bold that members of the groups themselves worried about the debut completely falling apart. However, it seemed the new style was just what the group needed to break through the waves of the market. Not just what the group needed, I think what the industry needed. That's taking New Year, New Me to a whole different level. In April, Dreamcatcher came back with Good Night and their second single album, Fall Asleep in the Mirror. Once again, they were present with their metal and J-rock inspired sound and a creepy music video continuing the story of their last one, where they finally hopped on the good foot and killed that guy. Now all they really needed was a debut mini album, preferably without the 10-month wait in between. At this point, it had already been around 4 months. Then 5, then 6, then...
Fly High's so good.
Got it in just before 7. Dreamcatcher's first ever EP, titled Prequel, hit on July 27th with the A-track Fly High. Prequel hit like a grenade, peaking at 4 in Korea and selling over 11,000 copies. Remember what 2017 was for the industry at the time?
No.
Coming back wasn't just about returning to End Countdown or Music Bank.
No, I don't remember.
It was about getting on the damn plane and getting yourself a ticket to the Western music market. Boom.
Did they do that?
The album hit top 5 on the Billboard World Albums and went number 1 on the US iTunes K-pop chart.
Wow, okay.
At this point, if you're wondering.
I had no idea.
All in all, it was a pretty successful comeback.
Damn.
No, the girls weren't doing G-Friend numbers or anywhere near the top 3.
No, but that's all right.
Well enough that in August, Happy Face announced that Dreamcatcher was getting a world tour.
Yeah, that's what I was, and they actually went to Europe for the first world tour, I believe, right?
Exclusively as one unit since debut, likely to cement the theme of permanence and dedication to the new group project after the loss of Minx. It had been important during those first few years for them to appear as one solid team that wouldn't crack under the pressure of a demanding market. But now, with a slightly more stable grip on their group identity, they would need to flesh out their public images as individuals. Up until now, Dreamcatcher had largely stayed within their own bubble. In early October, Happy Face announced that Dreamcatcher and other Happy Face entertainment artists such as D-Once and trainee group HNB would be joining the ranks of Mix 9, a survival show created and owned by YG Entertainment.
Interesting.
The goal was to promote the group on widespread television, show
did they
off
all
different
join
sides
it?
of the group,
I
and
actually did not know this.
give the public a taste of what Dreamcatcher members were like as individuals. Mix 9 was a sandbox for idols of various companies to show off not only their
Luna members went, right, and
overall idol appeals,
I think some
but
ITZY
also
members
start
went.
promoting their own personalities. One of the key necessities to longevity in the industry is personal attachment. Much of the K-pop industry is designed to sell fans an idol, a person to get attached to. For a group like Dreamcatcher, advertising your own personalities is crucial to drawing in fans who might not know or otherwise care for your music.
Like she was. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong show.
Group they feel personally connected to and involved with, and this is extremely notable about girl groups in particular. Which can sound pretty Machiavellian, but that's another can of worms.
Machiavellian? I don't even know what that means.
Fans who enjoyed the group at large and the potential fans in the making could see the members' personalities and become more attached to them. It would give Dreamcatcher 7 more selling points. On top of that, a show like Mix 9 would, in theory, contribute to the message that Dreamcatcher were committed to impacting and succeeding in the market. By getting together idols from all over the industry to mingle with, compete against, and befriend each other, Mix 9 would, again, in theory, allow the members of Dreamcatcher to announce themselves as integrated players within the business, true competitors with skin in the game.
Right.
Mix 9, like the produced series, was a unique space for seeing idols outside of their own groups and allowing fans to get to know Dreamcatcher through groups they already loved.
Is that what the point was of Mix 9? I think so, right?
To see their idols friends with other idols, and it was helpful for idols to hone their promotion skills with other professionals. The show began in late October, and 4 members of Dreamcatcher, Jiyu, Shiyeon, Yuhyun, and Dami, were there to compete against 94 other female idols. Talent-wise, it actually went pretty well. The members were recognized for their skills and development, each one receiving a rank of B or higher. Out of the 98 female participants, Yuhyun ranked in the top 9 during the showcase section, and Jiyu ranked at number 4 in episode 4 and number 7 in episode 5. Things were just starting to heat up. There were some great performances and some rather awesome moments from both the members of Dreamcatcher and
I gotta watch some of these episodes then. Alright. Dummy really getting to shine here, huh?
Win or lose, joining Mix 9 would only serve to help Dreamcatcher, as long as everything went according to plan.
Okay. Did it not?
Well, about that.
What happened?
About 3/4 of the way into the show, Dreamcatcher's activities in Mix 9 came to a sudden halt. Practically out of nowhere, Dreamcatcher packed up their stuff and never returned. Happy Face released a statement saying they were officially pulling Dreamcatcher from the show, and instead, the 4 girls would rejoin the other members and participate in a tour through Brazil. It was a mixed bag to say the least. While a tour would certainly bring in more money, there was a goldmine of potential publicity to be found in Mix 9. The members had accumulated decent rankings, and presumably the other industry benefits of joining Mix 9 would have strengthened as the competition continued. With just 6 episodes left, the decision seemed dicey. Until, well, I don't even need to tell you, do I?
The debut of Mix 9 final group has been cancelled. Well, would you look at that? Lost 7 billion won? Seems like Happy Face Entertainment had some insider knowledge or something. God damn.
Mix 9 flatlined and everything went kaput.
Well,
upon finishing its run in December and announcing the winning group for debut, YG Entertainment canceled the entire project.
What?
Money went down the drain.
Why?
Months of time spent
there goes the skateboard. I've seen that clip.
And YG stock completely crashed.
No, wait, no.
Wait,
okay, I haven't seen that clip.
Screwed to high hell. For all intents and purposes, Dreamcatcher had basically sailed off the island just before the volcano exploded.
Damn. That's kind of crazy, you know. Oh, so that's the Game of Thrones. I have seen that clip, so that's fine. That's a Game of Thrones spoiler, yeah. My lucky strike. I haven't heard that song yet.
Now, it's true there's no way Happy Face could have foreseen this. In fact, the idol who ranked highest in the entire show was Woo Jin-young, and 3 guesses what company he came from.
Oh.
It can't be stated enough how damaging the failure
Well,
of Mix 9 was
awkward.
to its participants. Happy Face themselves proceeded to file a lawsuit against YG Entertainment for 10 million won. Later, Happy Face started to reveal a fuck ton of the underhanded actions done by YG during the course of the show, including but not limited to YG unfairly extended contracts management period from 4 months to 3 years, which is extremely dangerous to smaller companies. They coerced Happy Face and their artists into agreeing to the new terms under the threat of cancellation, refused to fulfill their side of the agreements by covering fees such as transportation, training, clothes, and so on, and refused to pay any of the money that was owed to Happy Face for use of songs,
not gonna lie,
trainings,
good
and
on
other
Happy
material.
Face for at least drawing
Happy Face described the
Dreamcatcher out
entire
then.
process as the overuse of power by
Wonder
a
why they
large
didn't
entertainment
draw out
agency with
the
strong
other
influence. Happy
idols
Face
then.
said this of the lawsuit. More than to be compensated for all the damages we have received, this is a symbolic amount filed in our hopes that Korean popular culture will progress healthily without the overuse of power by large companies. In early 2019,
Yo, good on
we
Happy
found out that
Face.
Happy Face withdrew this lawsuit, and
Not
there's
good on Happy
definitely
Face.
some speculation about what went down behind closed doors. Regardless, it was a disaster. Now let's get back to Dreamcatcher.
Good on
In
Happy
all
Face
honesty,
for
it seemed that Dreamcatcher had miraculously dodged the
public
bullet and were promoting their music
suing.
internationally with the Fly High World Tour. By the power of sheer dumb luck, Dreamcatcher were out promoting in the world, and by the end of the year, the world was starting to pay attention. Chase Me was included in Billboard's Best K-Pop Songs of 2017
Not
at number
bad.
19, and the group was crowned number 3 for Billboard's Best New K-Pop Acts.
Not
Things were
bad.
starting to look up, and with that, the year wrapped. Kicking off 2018, Dreamcatcher celebrated their first anniversary with a fan meet. All 400 tickets sold out within minutes. While Dreamcatcher may have not been the biggest group in the world, their work in the past year had started to bring in dedicated fans. The celebration included the release of revamped material,
Not gonna lie,
new photo
Insomnia's
shoots, and
probably
the
some of the
release
most
their
dedicated fans I've ever
single,
seen.
Full Moon. There was also an announcement of a March comeback.
Ooh.
Time passed, they wrapped up their tour activities, and March arrived. They released their official name for the fan base, but no comeback. The month went on, no comeback. March ended, April began, and still no comeback. Eventually,
Also kinda late in
Happy
the
Face
game to have
announced
the
that
official
album had been
fandom name.
delayed, and fans were starting to get antsy. Dreamcatcher did not have a good history regarding album delays, and the last thing anyone wanted was a re-debut.
I imagine.
April closed out with no sign of Dreamcatcher.
Ooh,
Moving
that
into
must have
May,
been
Happy
hard.
Face was utterly vacant. None of the members were making announcements, and the radio silence was starting to scare people. What the hell was going on? Finally, something gave way. An official announcement told the fans that Dreamcatcher were named ambassadors for Microsoft's blockchain security technology. And everyone said,
"Where's the album?
That's a weird announcement.
We want the album."
Microsoft's blockchain.
What?
Okay,
Come
sure.
on, this isn't a comeback. Where's the comeback? I thought we were getting it. And then Dreamcatcher dropped You and I.
Just randomly?
On May 10th, Dreamcatcher released their second album, Escape the
Just
Game.
randomly?
6 songs, a budget update, and a hit on the charts. The comeback peaked at number 3 on the Gaon chart and debuted at number 7
that's
on
the
Billboard
iconic
World Albums. The
Stave.
comeback centered around their iconic sound while also playing well to industry interests. The styling, choreography, and album maintained their unique traits while also imbuing them with elements of girl crush and EDM, 2 of the hottest dishes on the table at the moment.
True.
The comeback sparked heat in the industry, and the fan base expanded into the mainstream.
Ooh.
This was a good sign, because despite the touring projects Dreamcatcher had done the past year, they had yet to solidify a foothold across the ocean. You and I didn't draw blood in just the Korean market. Suddenly, the international fan base was stoked from the embers, and Dreamcatcher rose from the ranks of cult favorite to commercial success.
Cult
It was
favorite,
looking
yeah.
more and more like You and I was getting the
Although,
song that solidified
Venom does still
Dreamcatcher
feel
for
like a
good.
cult with
They
the
had a
with
really
the
good
robe
week.
and stuff.
And when I say a week, I do mean a week. For a full 7 days, it was Dreamcatcher's world. They received their first ever nomination for a win with You and I,
Ooh.
and then
Fake love. Which, to be fair, absolutely broke the world. That's unfortunate, you know? Because fake love, man. I
To be
remember
fair, it
before I
didn't
got
matter
into
who you
BTS,
were,
that was
you
the
were
only
shunted out the door
one of the
when
only
Love
names I
Yourself
knew
2
about.
dropped. Popularity despaired.
From them.
Now we're gonna hit some confusion.
It was like DNA and Idol and fake
the growth
love.
Of their popularity, the group went into something of a frenzy. Riding the high of You and I, they released a third mini album in September as part of their What comeback.
What?
And officially broke the 30,000 sales mark for a mini album. The album charted at number 2, which remains their highest position of all time as of the making of this video.
They've probably charted
They had
at number 1 now,
debut,
right?
And while they were met with some initial success, the activities in Japan remained largely unrealized. 2019.
Yeah, they stopped the
Regardless,
Japanese activity now,
they had
I believe,
another
right?
comeback on February 13th of 2019 with The End of Nightmare and its single Piri.
Also, an absolutely incredible song.
I believe this is when Happy Face rebranded as Dreamcatcher Company.
Okay, yeah, so they are called
Some sources also say that it was a sub-label known as Dreamcatcher Company. Bless their hearts, I have no idea what they put in the water at Happy Face. And then off they went on yet another tour.
I believe they used to be still called Happy Face.
And I mean that in the bucket loads of pathetic fallacy way. And no, pathetic fallacy has nothing to do with the word pathetic, meaning desperate or depressing. Rather, everywhere Dreamcatcher went, things started to go wrong. Their concert in Jakarta was completely shut down for reasons that were never explained. There were scheduling conflicts and issues with tickets, and one of the theaters caught fire and burned down.
Bro?
Everything was going pear-shaped. After the tour,
Elmo?
more Japanese promotions were released, but they went nowhere. In hopes of reigniting fan morale, the group opened applications for their official fan club that summer, but even then, little news came out of it and the whole affair slipped under the waves. While Dreamcatcher seemed to be anywhere and everywhere, and
fan thing. I haven't opened it yet because I wanted to do
there was something
an opening,
off
but I haven't
about
done it
their
yet.
success. No matter how frequent the comebacks or how long the tours, Dreamcatcher couldn't seem to create a sense of longevity. The spaghetti wasn't sticking to the wall, and after a few weeks of initial success,
also do not throw spaghetti at the wall.
That's
not how you find out if it's cooked.
In the industry. They seem to be relying almost entirely on reappearance power, but in the grand scheme of things, it seemed that not many people outside the immediate fandom would notice that they went silent. Dreamcatcher's streak of good luck had short-circuited, and the members were rightfully exhausted. It was time to take a break, get some air, and come back when everyone was good and ready. In the meantime, Happy Face did what they do best, something unconventional. Happy Face started having board meetings with Vespa, an indie game developing company based in South Korea.
Indie game? Oh.
Hello. Yes.
Handshake.
A handshake for you.
I like your tie.
I'm not wearing a tie.
Oh.
Have a handshake.
I heard the food would be provided.
I lied.
Oh.
Hello.
Your hands
That's
are
not how indie game meetings go. Surely.
So here's my idea.
As a developer
Give you a
myself.
big fucking sword.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant.
I
Oh, is
was
this
thinking
Deja
the
Vu?
same
Is this
thing.
for Deja Vu or is this for a game?
Match made in heaven. On September 18th, we finally saw what all those board meetings have been about.
And Deja Vu is my favorite. So, Deja Vu!
Deja Vu was unlike anything Dreamcatcher had done before.
And it's
The comeback
gorgeous.
was a collaboration with Vespa's mobile game
Oh,
team,
I've
Raid,
completely
which
forgot that
contributed to
was
the
part of that
expensive
thing.
and dramatic visuals in the music video. That usual Dreamcatcher core was now combined with an emotional ballad,
Which is
and it gave them
gorgeous.
their first charting song in the K-pop Hot 100.
Hey,
The
okay.
album, Rate of Dream, hit number 3 and became their highest-selling album of all time.
Okay.
There was still one milestone that Dreamcatcher and their fandom had yet to crack.
That's to
a
win
first win
music
on
show
a music
win.
show. They'd come close in the past year, but hadn't quite managed to snag one. With the emerging success of Deja Vu, they might have their shot. Deja Vu was nominated for a win by SBS's music show, The Show,
Ooh.
and many fans crossed their fingers in hopes that Dreamcatcher would take home their first
Who else
win.
released
That
song?
night,
먼저 사전에 집계된 음원
Everglow CLC.
동영상과 전문가 팬 사전 투표 점수입니다.
What release was this from Everglow?
여기에 생방송 중
Looks like-
집계된
is it
실시간
Hush?
투표 점수를 합친 결과 더쇼 초이스의 주인공은
에버글로우 축하합니다.
Damn.
the winner of the night was Everglow, taking home their first ever win.
Well, to be fair, congrats to Everglow. First one
I'm
stolen.
going to label this entire section alleged.
Okay.
There are details that can't be confirmed about certain parts of this issue, and there's so many different parts to what happened, and a lot of it is loosely translated from Korean into English. I encourage you to do your own research and come to your own conclusions. Anyway, on to what happened as best as I could research. Just a little while after the show announced its winner, fans and non-fans of Dreamcatcher began speaking out against the final scores, claiming miscalculation and even fraudulent behavior.
Right.
So, there's a lot of
11 points,
surrounding these numbers here.
Very little.
After the controversy gained some traction, a few fans started to claim that these numbers were already confirmed accurate and that the controversy was based on lies. As of now, there is absolutely no confirmation on any website in any language from any source that these numbers are accurate. Yes, if you add these numbers straight down, you do get 7,861 and 7,850.
What is the second one?
However, the addition of these numbers isn't what the outrage was about. It's that these numbers allegedly should have never existed like this to begin with, and that the calculation that was done to create them was fudged. So what went wrong? I'm basically going to be summarizing several articles that broke down the calculation
I've never really
process,
gotten
the faulty results,
idea of
and why
the
people were saying
scoring,
it could have been intentional
so in these
skewing.
music shows.
All of this information is readily accessible. I encourage you to look at them. One of the primary articles I'm looking at is this one by XDoubleStar, who, while not a website I'm deeply familiar with, provided a decent amount of verifiable information. I'm going to be paraphrasing a lot from them. Credit to the breakdown goes to XDoubleStar.
Okay.
Basically, row 2 is where fans claim things went wrong. According to XDoubleStar, we can establish beyond reasonable doubt that wrongdoing took place. Basically, 3 major things happened here. The first is that several points were shaved off of Dreamcatcher's YouTube score. Here is the viewer board of the show. Based on the show's own data, the score Dreamcatcher should have received was 1,472 points, higher than what they were actually given, which means the show had data that gave one result, and yet somehow another number showed up.
Interesting.
But the second thing happened in the category Expert Preferences. What is Expert Preferences?
Oh, that's
it's
just behind the
basically a category where
scenes?
the broadcast can award points to groups based on what they claim are preferences of experts.
Okay,
but
I
this
see.
category has long been disputed by practically every fandom in the industry and even some companies, and is largely considered a place where shows just skew points to favor certain groups. In this episode of the show,
this might be a little bit of a hot take. If there are actually experts, like as people that know music, and it's like because there are some parts of music that are objective, like obviously mostly music is like a subjective thing, but like the reason why you can study music is because there are things that are music objectively. I wouldn't be mad if that was the people who actually decided expert points. I'm just gonna say that. And the same way as it works with movies, there are certain ways you can do movies that would award points, if that makes sense.
Received a 0, which came as a shock to some
See,
people.
that's
but
BS.
Even with a 0, Dreamcatcher still would have won. In order for Dreamcatcher to receive the lower final score that they did, the experts had to have given them less than the minimum amount of 0 and then masked it by announcing 0. Here's how that works, and again, these are all just claims as far as I know. Let's say that all the other data the show published in this section, except for expert preferences, was completely accurate.
Right.
Now, let's remember that the minimum score for expert preference is apparently 0.
Right.
When you calculate the full score, giving Dreamcatcher an absolute 0 in expert preferences, their final score for this section is 1,972 points. But the final score that the show released for Dreamcatcher was 1,850, 122 points below the possible minimum score. How did the show give them a score over 100 points below the minimum? Fans are saying that they gave Dreamcatcher negative points in this category. Allegedly, Dreamcatcher was given negative points in a category
that is also kind of weird that both
points,
Silsey and Everglow
which
got
would mean that their score was
max expert points and Dreamcatcher got 0.
Would have been given a false
It's
score
quite obviously
on
not
behalf
an
of the show.
expert behind it,
and
you know?
if these weren't simple computer errors, this would be cheating. Several fans and non-fans alike recalculated the scores using the minimum possible of 1,472 points.
Right, and that would obviously, because it was only an 11-point difference.
Actual 0 in expert preference, which again is absurd to begin with, they still would have beaten Everglow for first place. This led many fans to conclude that the show fudged Dreamcatcher's score and even subtracted points from it so that they could edge them in just under Everglow. If this is what happened, subtracting points from a group's score is tampering with a group's ability to win, and that directly impacts a group's success in the industry.
Was there no lawsuit
so it's not
for
really
this?
a surprise that some fans were disappointed and untrustworthy after the strange results were posted. It's time to remember that this is not, under any circumstances, Everglow's fault.
No, obviously
Everglow as
not.
a group had absolutely nothing to do with the way the show's scores were calculated.
Nor
and no one can deny that they are
CLCs,
a
obviously.
monster rookie group with tons of support. In the end, this is just as much a blow to Everglow as it is to Dreamcatcher. Everglow worked extremely hard to get where they are, and the last thing they'd want is a fraudulent first win, especially regarding all the heated tensions around rigging right now. And of course, this is not the first time a music show has given a win to the wrong group. In May of 2016, KBS's Music Bank gave first place to AOA for Good Luck, when the actual win belonged to Twice for Cheer Up. In May of 2019, Mnet's and Countdown gave first place to New East for Bet Bet, when the win really belonged to
Bruh!
the 5th season.
What? The 5th season is one of my favorite Oh My God songs as well.
The difference, of course, is that these shows both made official and public announcements about the mistakes and corrected the math as well as the true holder of the win.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. It's like a miscalculation.
Have made no such announcement.
That's crazy to me.
The only acknowledgement the show gave to the controversy were public tweets that seemed to passive-aggressively mock the group and the fans for the loss of the first win. And that was that for 2019.
It's kind of fucked up.
2020.
What the hell?
So what's up with Dreamcatcher now? Based on sheer numbers alone, Dreamcatcher is a decently successful group. Their continued sales presence
it's crazy to me that there hasn't been any lawsuit of any kind for that.
Given their commercial sales and consistent comeback rate, I feel comfortable saying that they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
And sure enough, they did not.
The narrative comes from a lack of blockbuster success internationally or top 3 status, and as such causes them to fall into the shadows in the eyes of many international fans. It could also be, and this is my personal hypothesis, that many of the struggles Dreamcatcher has gone through point out a distinct attempt by shadier parts of the industry
I was about to say.
The growth of an unconventional group. The industry thrives on convention, unfortunately, and deviations from the norm are often denied, sabotaged, or shut down entirely.
There's
and yet, despite all that, Dreamcatcher
something going on, you know what I mean?
Dreamcatcher are something of an utter
I don't like to feed into those kinds of theories, but it does feel a little sketchy.
Rolling, flipping, and flat out vaulting over
I remember that video, man. That's such an old school Vine, you know?
I think. So here's to you, Dreamcatcher. Right now, you might be K-pop's Leonardo DiCaprio, but you are by far some of the most
To be fair, Leonardo DiCaprio also did
game.
get his Oscar in the end. And that's what Dreamcatcher got, their
guy.
first win.
Dreamcatcher have announced a Japanese comeback this upcoming March. And let's hope that both means actual March and more success in Japan. Go get
about
that.
that.
That's all for me this time. Best of luck to Dreamcatcher, and I'll catch you guys later.
About the Japanese success, about that. That didn't go too well. Wait, what is this catching up with Dreamcatcher? Ooh, what did they go to Dive Studios? I need to watch that episode. I didn't know they actually went to that. Goddamn, incredible video by Mera. It actually gives a lot of insight to their story up until now. She does have like an update coming here. I will quickly read. Update. On April 20th, 2022, they received their first music win on Show Champion. Video's outdated. Blah, 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 blah. It's based on speculation, exploration, and there's more than one perspective, right? Subtitles, edit. Also, my timeline got confused. July 2015 was G-Friend's comeback. It goes to Stu, not the debut. Oh, okay. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. G-Friend didn't debut right then. That was at least what I was thinking. G-Friend debut. I think did they not in 14, or was it just like in the beginning of 15? Something on us. It wasn't 15. It says right here. So I guess I was wrong as well. I thought it was in 14. But either way, incredible video by Mera, giving us a lot more story or history about Dreamcatcher. I actually feel like the actual way this has been put up also works as a really, really good guide for Dreamcatcher as a group. Not as much for the individual members and what they're all about, but as a history guide to what's happened with the group. I think this is actually an incredibly good video. So props to Mera, who, as I said, I have watched a couple of her videos before. I don't actually remember what video I've watched. I did. Oh yeah, I watched the NMix one, and I've also after getting into Le Seraphim, I watched her Le Seraphim one, and I like that. I really think she does good videos. So please do go check out Mera's channel if you do have the time. I'll of course be putting a link to the video down in the description. But yeah, guys, that was Dodging, Disbandment, and Other Extreme Sports, a history of Dreamcatcher. Incredible video. I gotta say it again. This kind of, in a sense, which I don't like to go into all of the occult thinking and stuff, but this whole video kind of feels like it's setting a precedent for there being some kind of like curse upon Dreamcatcher. Yeah, Minx didn't work out to begin with. That was mostly, I would say, because of a saturated market, right? But then as they finally debut with Dreamcatcher, actually have quite a bit of success in the beginning of their career. Like when they finally go to this world tour, stuff goes wrong. Their first win gets taken from them because of the show, or what seems to be obviously alleged. But if those, what I don't get is, what I could tell from the video was that those were like the official numbers, but it just didn't really add up correctly. So I don't really know. It feels very, very weird, and definitely feels like there's something odd going on. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm very surprised. Obviously, if you don't know the numbers, it's hard to do a lawsuit, so I'm not sure how real those numbers were, but I'm surprised there hasn't been any more action taken towards the show, especially since we've seen it. Apparently, it's been seen before with in two other instances, but those music shows actually owned up and said, you know, that was a mistake on our part. These are the correct winners. Here's the correct calculation. So very, very surprised that the show was just out here and effing people over, because that scoring system worked really, really weirdly, it seems like. But overall, the video was really, really good. I'm so happy that Dreamcatcher has continued to climb and are still continuing to climb. I'm just excited to be able to watch them again at some point whenever they come to Europe again. Still hoping for them to come to Denmark. I do think there are quite a couple of venues in Denmark that will be perfect for Dreamcatcher if they decided to come someday, and I'd be the first one in queue, I can tell you that. Although I do know there are other Danish insomnias in a K-pop group I'm part of on Facebook that are also pretty badass when it comes to, you know, queuing and stuff. So I don't really know, but I love the group so much, and this story, you know, kind of just gives you more respect for the group and everything they've been through. For now, let me know what you guys thought about this video by Meta, Dodging Disbandment and Other Extreme Sports, A History of Dreamcatcher, down in the comments below, and I guess I'll see you guys next time.